Hello everyone, it's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. Thanks for joining me today on my Mystery Monday video. So we're into the last week of March and heading towards Easter this weekend, and it's spring break here this week. So lots going on. And we do still have snow, but hopefully spring will be coming. We're crossing our fingers. And so today I am going to focus again on this painted lavender bundle. Just reminds me of spring and the lavender, and just the colors are just so Easter-like. So I am going to do another project with this set. And this was a project that was inspired by Peggy Noe, who is a demo in the States. And I'm calling this painted, what am I calling it? Painted Lavender Fun Fold card. It's actually a card that I did at my workshop yesterday. So if anyone that attended is watching this, you'll know you've made it, and so you know how it goes. But I think it was a really neat take on a fun fold, and I think everybody enjoyed it. And it uses that beautiful perennial lavender designer paper and the lavender dyes and everything. And this is what it looks like. So you open it up like this, and then you would open this panel here where you can either stamp or write your greetings. So you get a lot of real estate with this card. And it may look difficult, but it really wasn't. And I know the girls, I think, were a little, oh no, but they thought it wasn't that difficult at all. And you guys can confirm that in the comments if you like. Okay, so this is the Painted Lavender bundle. So the stamp set, and these are the dies. So I use some of these dies to cut out the lavender and the sprigs, and then some other dies for some of the greetings and things. So we'll get to those. Okay, so we are going to start with a piece of Highland Heather. Now, I just wanted to say, even though that we're basing this around the Highland or the perennial lavender and everything, you could use this with any stamp set, any designer paper. I think it would be really fun to try this for Christmas even. You could write a really nice Christmas message in here and have some Christmas designer paper and some embellishments and different Christmas colors. I think this would be a really great template for a card like that too. This also makes great anniversary, great, like you could use it for anything. Let's just be real, right? Anything. Okay, so we're starting with this Highland Heather, and this is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and I will post these measurements on the Facebook post. And now I've scored it at 4 1/4, and on one end, you're gonna score it at 2 1/8. Okay, so we're just going to fold this in half at the 4 1/4 mark. And then at the 2 1/8, you're just going to take that flap and fold it back on the score line. Okay, so just give that a really nice burnish, and that is what's going to make our front flap. Okay, so like this. So now we're going to add a little bit of that designer paper. So gorgeous paper. I just love it. So I've cut two pieces here at 5 1/4 by 1 7/8, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yes, 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. So I cut two pieces of this from that designer paper. So we're going to attach both of them onto these front flaps here. So we shall put one here. And there's so many great patterns in this pack of designer paper. You could just use whichever you would like. Okay, so let's put this one on this flap here. Like so. Okay, so that will make our front flap. There we are. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside for 1 second, because now we are going to work on this inside card piece, okay, this inside flap. So for that, we have a piece of basic white, and that is scored, sorry, first of all, it's cut 10.5 by 4. So 10.5 by 4, scored at 5 1/4. So we're just going to burnish that score line as well in the center. Okay, and then we're have another piece of that designer paper. I picked one a little bit different. And this is going, if I cut this correctly, it's going to fit exactly on top of that basic white. So your flap opens like this, but you're going to adhere this designer paper right on the top of the folded flap, okay? So this pattern is lovely too, with the shaded spruce and all the greenery, very spring-like. Okay, so let's attach this right on top, and hopefully it is cut fairly close. Okay, if you're a little bit over, you can always trim off the excess with your snips. Okay, so this will be our front flap. All right, and on the inside, we also have another piece of designer paper. And this is just cut at 4 by 1. So just to sort of jazz up, break up the white a little bit, we're going to add just a little strip of this. And don't forget, this paper is directional, so try to make sure that your flowers and leaves are going the right direction. So this is the panel where you would write your greeting or stamp your greeting, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to bring back our base, and this piece is going to go right inside this flap at the back. Now you don't have to put this right up to the top. It's cut so that you have a little bit of that Highland Heather border all around. So you can use tear and tape on the back if you really want sturdiness, or Tombow glue, regular snail, or not snail, Stamp and Seal, excuse me. All right, so make sure your flap is opening from the bottom, and then you're just going to adhere this on that inside flap and give it a good press. Okay, so then when it's closed, it will look like this. You open it and you have your flap. Is that not just so easy? I think that is wonderful. Okay, so I wanted to add a little something on here. You don't have to, but I chose our little paper butterfly accents. Okay, so these are them. They are, as far as I know, getting carried over to the new catalog, which is exciting. So I'm just going to put a little one here so that when it's closed, you know, it doesn't look quite so flowery, but you still have a little something something. You could put it wherever you wanted. And I think I'll just add him with a glue dot. Now, another thing I have done on my sample is I did brush a little bit of Highland Heather ink around the edge of the butterfly's wings, just with a blending brush or a sponge dauber, just to, if you wanted to give it a little bit of color. But this one, I think I'm just going to leave white for today. And I'm just going to put a glue dot in the center. You could also, if you had some Wink of Stella, you could also add that on top of the wings. That would be fun, even if you gave it a little bit of color with the sponging. That would be nice. Okay, so that is that so far. So now we're going to work on our greeting. So I cut 2 pieces from the Thoughtful Expressions dies, which are these ones. This is the bundle with the stamp set and the dies. Now, as far as I know, the stamp set is carrying over, but not the dies, which makes me very sad because I think these are fabulous. All of the different layers that you get, both in the, you know, sort of the rounded and the rectangle ones, I think they're just so useful, and they all nest in each other. So I'm really sad to see these go. So if you don't have them, you might want to still put them on your shopping list before the catalog retires. Those are in the mini catalog, actually. Okay, so we're going to do a bit of stamping on here first. So I chose Wishing You So Much Joy on This Special Day, and that comes from the Everyday Details bundle. It's right here. This is also in our current mini, so I just thought this is nice for birthday, even for congratulations, for even graduation, anniversary. It has a lot of uses, that stamp, I think. So I'm just going to stamp it in Gorgeous Grape, and I'm going to stamp it a little bit to the right. So excuse my head. Let's try to make sure this is fairly straight. Okay, so I stamped it a little lower, but that's okay, it still works. And the reason I want it a little more to the right is because we're going to add our lavender sprigs here on the left-hand side. Okay, so let me just put this on top of the purple die, which is cut just one larger than this white one. Okay, so there we go for that. Okay, so now we have our sprigs. Okay, so I have 2 purple that I cut, and I did, oh my goodness, where did it go? I had a green one. Oh, it fell on the floor. Okay, this is cut from the shaded spruce, actually, and these are from the perennial, no, what's it called? Painted lavender. The DSP is perennial lavender, and the stamp set is painted lavender, and I always get them confused and mixed up. So these are from the dies. Long story short. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure with my take your pick, and now that has gone missing on me. Oh my gosh. You know, I think I'm so organized when I start these videos, and then something falls on the floor or something is in my basket that I need. And, oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm just going to poke out any little bits that weren't cut out with the die cut. Okay. So you're just going to assemble these any way you like, kind of like a little posy bouquet. Okay. You can have a lavender in the back. You can have however you would like to do it. I think I'll try to keep mine more in the front and have this green kind of stick out of the back. And then you're going to just adhere them on this side of your greeting. Now, what we might want to do is, if you're not really sure how high do I go or not, we could put this piece onto our card first. So let's do that. It might take a bit of the guesswork out of it. So I'm just going to line up sort of these 2 scalloped edges here, kind of centered on top. Now I'm going to add some dimensionals, but I'm only going to add them on this side because, of course, as you can guess, if they were on this side, they would get stuck here and we wouldn't be able to open it, right? So let's just put a few on this left side of the card. And you can use this scallop kind of as your guide. All right, and then we'll do this. And we will put this sort of up in the center, just sort of centered that way, and give that a little press. So now it does still open, okay? So now we can attach our sprigs and we'll know how far down to put them, or if you need to snip a bit off. And so I think you can lie them down first just to get a little idea. And then have all of the stems come together, because then we're going to add a little bow to kind of make it look like a tied little, like we've tied up a little bit of an arrangement, a little posy. Okay, so you can use Tombow to put this on, whatever you like, whatever adhesive. You don't have to attach all of it. I'm just putting adhesive towards the bottom. And I think I'll put it like here. Okay, and then I will add a piece of the lavender. And I'll put that maybe here. And then the last one, I'll add maybe on the other side. Just sort of cross these over a bit so the green still shows. Maybe like so, and then they're all sort of coming together. And I'm okay if they stick over a bit because they're not inhibiting how you open or close the card, right? Okay, so we've got those on, and now I've just tied a little double bow with some white baker's twine. You could use other ribbon if you wanted, whatever you would like. I just used a double bow with the twine because I thought just a single layer was a little lost. And then I'm just going to attach this with a glue dot to the bottom here where the stems are to make it look like they're all sort of attached. Now I might just trim these little ends off a teeny bit, maybe even just a snippet. Okay, like so. And then last thing is to add a little bit of bling. So we're going to do that with our purple fine shimmer gems. So I only added about 2 of them, and they are, one's a little bit lighter, one's a little bit darker. So let's just use, you can use whichever. I think I'm just going to put maybe 2 towards the top. I'll use a light one and a darker one. Just 2 there, I think is enough. Otherwise, I think the whole center would be a little bit crowded. Okay, so there is your card. So you would open it like so, write your greeting, and then close it. And there you go, our painted lavender fun fold. So I hope you give that a try. Tell me how you like that. And we will see you again next Monday, which will be April. Oh my gosh, April already. So I hope you have a wonderful week, a wonderful Easter, a wonderful spring break, and we will see you again next time. Bye for now.